Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Procurement Nuggets. This is David Nash, the question of the day guy, and today we're going to take a look at the six elements of a contract. And those are offer and acceptance, definite purpose, consideration, mutual obligation, competent parties, and finally, legal purpose. First one, offer and acceptance. We ask the question, what is an offer? It is simply a promise to do or not do some specific thing. It demonstrates a person's intent to do something. And acceptance occurs with a response to that offer by the other party. So we have to ask the question, what is an ITB, an IFB, or an RFP, a request for proposals? And the solicitation document we put out, we use those words invitation and request because we are inviting and requesting offers from the vendor community, one of which we will then typically accept. The next element I want to talk about is definiteness, which is the material items, terms of the agreement. If you're too vague in this area, then no contract exists. For example, a vendor could simply say, I'll paint City Hall for $30,000, whatever. And then we have to ask the question, well, what color is it? Is it going to be painted inside, outside? Is the trim going to be painted? What kind of safety measures does the painter have to put in place? Because there might be scaffolding and so on. So we have to be clear about what the contract is going to entail. The next item is consideration. And this isn't some factor like we're going to be considerate of each other's feelings or anything else like that. It's something of value that's provided by both parties that will bind the agreement. And in the realm of public procurement, we are typically buying or purchasing goods and services from the vendor community, and that's their consideration. The consideration on our part is payment. Okay, so that's each party is doing something to bind the agreement. The next element is mutuality of obligation, or obligation is mutual. It is considered a sub element of consideration. And in this instance, both parties must be bound or neither one of them is bound. That means both parties are doing something. And as I talked about in the previous element of consideration, we pay for goods and services. So there's an obligation to perform on the part of both parties into the contract. Which brings us next to competent parties, or that the parties have capacity to enter into a contract. The law deems some classes of people or firms incapable of signing a contract. Infants, the mentally infirm. And we keep in mind that in the United States, the age of majority is 18. So a simple example might be a 17-year-old that saved up some money from odd jobs and wants to buy a car. No car dealer is going to deal with this person simply because of their age. They are too young to legally enter into a contract. So how does that affect us in the realm of public procurement? We have to ask the question, who are we dealing with? And most of us want the president, vice president, the secretary, or the treasurer, the corporate officers to be the ones signing our contract, and then we know that that there's a legal agreement there. So oftentimes I get asked, well, what about sales reps? After all, those are the folks that come in, they show us the products, or they talk about the services. We are most often in contact with them, but for the most part, they really lack the capacity to sign our contracts. So this is where we want to be careful knowing who is signing the contract on the part of the vendor. And finally, we get to a notion of legal purpose. the courts will simply not enforce an agreement that violates criminal law or good public policy. It's not going to happen. That's why, drug deals, backroom deals, murder for hire, all that kind of stuff, is no court in the United States is going to take on or try to make a decision in those cases because those are illegal activities. A quick way to remember these 6 elements is by the mnemonic device of Cool CD, COOLCD. The first C could be consideration. The first O is offer and acceptance. The second O is obligation is mutual. L would be legal purpose. The next C is for competency or capacity. And then the D would be definiteness. So Cool CD, if you can get that stick in your mind and take that into the certification exam, I think you'll be in good shape. I hope you find this helpful. If you're interested in joining my question of the day, you're testing in the next 11 and a half months. You feel free to visit my website, qoftheday.net, and submit a contact form. And I will consider whether or not you can join my list. So hope to see you the next time on another procurement nugget. Take care.